This is the Sony HDR Pj540, a camcorder released in 2014, but now you can pick them up for about 100 euros. So how good is this thing in 2025? Let's start with the build quality. It feels pretty decent, but you can definitely feel that it is a consumer camcorder and not something professional. But it does have some nice features that you have here, the zoom, photo and record button all at your hands. And what's crazy is that this camera has 30 times optical zoom, so you can zoom in crazy far, and that is pretty impressive for a camera. But when you zoom in all the way, you will see that the image starts to get a little bit soft at 30 times zoom. So that is a little bit disappointing, but it's still impressive that you have this crazy zoom amount on this camera. Another thing I like is the grip. It's really small, compact and lightweight, so you can easily carry it around. And because it has this flip screen, you can also use it great as a vlogging camera. It's just a little bit too large to put in your pocket, so it's not really a compact camera, but it does have really nice ergonomics, and you have also the option to change between a small or a large battery. So if you want to, you can get these small ones, which make the camera really compact and easy to carry around, but you can also get a long one, so you can record all day. What's also really interesting is that it has a built-in projector. So you can just project your videos and photos onto a wall, which is really impressive, really cool, but it's also something that I almost never use. And it even has a projector import on this camera, which means that you can connect this thing to your PC and then project your PC image with this camera onto a wall. Another nice thing is this built-in lens protection. When you open the screen of the camera will automatically turn on, and you can also see it has this really nice built-in stabilization system. It is called the Balanced Optical Steady Shot, and it isn't like a gimbal, so when you are running it isn't extremely smooth. You can still get some decent shots when zooming in really far, so it won't be completely unstable. Whereas normally, when you are shooting with a camera and you zoom in really far, it is unusable. But this camera definitely does have a downside, and that is the image quality out of this camera just doesn't really hold up in 2025 in my opinion. This is a quick vlogging test using the Sony HDR Pj540, and as you can see, the image quality still looks okay. It's nothing amazing, but it can still capture some decent images. The thing that is the most impressive about this camera is the large zoom, like I already told you. So let's take a look at the zoom reach. I'm zooming in like crazy right now. You can see how far it goes. This is 60 times with a clear image zoom, because it has a 30 times optical zoom. And then it will add 2 times digital crop, so that will give 60 times clear image zoom. And as you can see, it can zoom really far, which makes this camera very versatile. So for example, if you're capturing cars in the distance or trains, that is really nice. And the microphone quality of this camera is also pretty decent. So maybe if you're vlogging and still have this camera laying around, it can be a good option. But my smartphone probably takes better video than this thing. You can also see here with the highlights, they are a bit overexposed. They get overexposed really fast, and that is pretty disappointing in my opinion. My eyes can see the sky perfectly, but you can see on this camera it will struggle a little bit to capture everything. So here you can see there's my camera, and now let's zoom all the way out. So let's see how far the zoom actually is by slowly zooming out. As you can see, it just keeps going and going and going. It's really impressive the amount of zoom that you have in a compact camera like this. And what's also nice is that the zoom is very quiet, so you don't hear it in the recordings even when zooming at its fastest speed, but the fastest zoom speed is this, so that's not the fastest. What's also nice about this camera, and it can be a downside or an upside depending on how you look at it, is that everything is in focus. So you're always sure that it captures everything. But that does mean that you can't get a nice blurry background with this camera. But what is really nice about this camera is that the minimum focus distance is really close with this lens. So you can get some nice macro shots. recently looked at the Sony NEX-VG10, which is only a little bit more expensive and has maybe a little bit less detail in the image, but the results that you can get with the NEX-VG10 camcorder is still really nice, even though it doesn't have a lot of detail. And keep in mind, the NEX-VG10 doesn't have that much of a zoom compared to this camera. But this camera's image quality isn't that great. You can see the dynamic range is really lacking, so a lot of things are really overexposed. And then when it only gets a little bit dark, there will be a lot of noise, which is really disappointing because I really like the form factor and the stabilization is pretty good. And the image quality is still fine for simple basic things like social media, maybe a YouTube video. You can still get some decent results, and especially if you need a camera that can zoom really far, then this can still be a really fun option. Or if you want to get that retro camcorder look, then this can also still be a pretty cool option. Here's a quick video test using the Sony PJ540 on a tripod. Everything is in automatic mode, so let's now switch to manual white balance, see if that makes a difference. So now the white balance is set manually, and I'm not sure if the image looks better. I think it probably looks a little bit worse. So maybe just leave it on full automatic mode. And now I'm standing far away but zoomed in a lot. So how does this image quality look like? And again, I am in full automatic mode using the internal microphone of this camcorder. There's also a newer version called the HDR CX625 and CX675, which don't have a built-in projector, but then they do have the XAVC-S format, which will result in a little bit of a better video, but still the sensor is small, so you will get a lot of noise pretty quickly. What is nice though is that the screen is a touchscreen, so you can easily change settings when using this. It's not the fastest menu, but it's still pretty cool that it has a touchscreen. And it also has this multi-interface shoe, so you can connect a good microphone if you'd like to. But a camcorder isn't that useful when the image quality isn't that great. So that's why I don't use this camera that often. The image quality is just not that good. Sure, you can still get some decent results with this camera, it's not terrible. But my smartphone can take better videos than this camera. Also, in the camera controls you have options for manual white balance, auto exposure shift. And this camera can zoom a lot further than most smartphones. It also has a headphone jack, so I can monitor my audio. And a microphone plug, so if I want to connect an external microphone, I can on this camera. So should you get this camcorder in 2025? Well, probably not this exact model, because I think this image quality isn't that great in 2025 anymore. If you just spend a little bit more, you can probably get a camera with a lot better image quality. But it does have a crazy large zoom that almost no other camera has. So do you still use this camera? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching.